Hey there. Welcome to a higher dimension. I'm Gloria Danvers from Gloria Danvers Hypnosis in Orlando, Florida, and I'm your host for Higher Dimension. As a hypnotherapist, I work with everyday people who are having extraordinary experiences in the fascinating world of past life regression, therapeutic hypnosis, psychic abilities, spiritual awakenings, and paranormal experiences. Join me and my guests every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. as we explore their powerful stories and extraordinary experiences together. Not only will you hear their stories, but we will also talk about what comes next. What happens after you have this experience? Does it change you? Who are you? What do you know now that you didn't know before? We'll dive into some deep, eye-opening conversations that you won't want to miss. If you're interested in working with me and having your own amazing hypnosis experience, you can contact me at gloriadanvershypnosis.com. If you're here listening to this podcast, chances are you are ready for me. You are ready for this experience. So shoot me an email, book a free consultation. Maybe it's time for you to shake up what you think you know about the world, about yourself, who you've been, who your friends really are, and where you're going. You can catch me on Apple Podcast, Podbean, Podchaser, Spotify, and iHeart.com. But right now, let's just sit back, relax, and uncover the hidden depths of the human experience right here on a higher dimension. Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk to you about spiritual awakening. Recently, I've been working with a lot of clients who are experiencing their universal wake-up call. And very often, it's not what they think that it should be or what it actually is. They're afraid that something is wrong when nothing could be further from the truth. So I'm going to talk to you about what actually happens when we begin to go light. When we imagine spiritual awakening, we think about light, peace. We think about lotus positions on a mountain, or at least I do. We think of our guides imparting some hidden esoteric truths that are given to a very select few. And I love that image, don't you? It makes me feel all peaceful and floaty. And somewhere, there may be people who gently drift into enlightenment. And that's wonderful for them. But the spiritual awakening that I experienced and that I see other people experiencing is chaotic, is messy, is full of doubt. Nobody tells you about the times that you feel like you're falling apart, about the nights you can't sleep, about the days you feel like a stranger in your own life, about how you don't even recognize yourself anymore, and you don't really recognize the people around you. You are literally a stranger in a strange land. So if you're feeling any of that right now, I want you to know something. You're not broken. You're awakening. And today, I want to go there with you. Because there are things that you need to know about what you are experiencing. I'm talking about the real symptoms of spiritual awakening. And yes, I said symptoms, the ones that nobody warns you about. As I said before, lately I'm working with a lot of people that are just waking up. And when they come to me for hypnosis, they're feeling anxious, they're doubting themselves, they're having a small glimmer of what's in front of them, but they're not understanding that the pain and confusion they are feeling is part of that process. Something beautiful is being born inside you. And like any other birth, it's a lot of work. It's hard. The difference is that you are your own baby. You are nurturing yourself through this time of transition. And like every other being in the world, you're not sure if you're doing it right. Because life seems to be getting harder instead of easier. You feel more confused than ever instead of the clarity that you think you should be feeling. You may feel as if you are on an emotional roller coaster and that your emotions are all over the place. You could be experiencing deep waves of sadness and grief that seems to come out of nowhere. You might start crying in the grocery store or while you're sitting at a red light. And of course, being human, you ask yourself, what is wrong with me? But nothing's wrong. Your soul is clearing the old energy. The emotions you buried, the ones that you didn't even know you were still carrying, they finally have permission to surface. It's not weakness. It's not weirdness. It's called release. It's called healing. And it is essential if you want to be light. Because all those old emotions, all that old pain, those are weighing you down. And they have to be dealt with so that you can vibrate at a higher level of consciousness. And yes, I'm going to get started now on the physical symptoms in the body, because awakening isn't just spiritual. It's intensely physical. You might feel exhausted for no good reason. And you might feel like that a lot. You might wake up every night 3 or 4 in the morning, and your mind is racing and your heart's pounding. Some people experience body aches, food sensitivities, even a feeling of buzzing or vibration in their ears, in their skin, in their minds. And this is the body adjusting to hold more light, more energy, more consciousness. In order for you to vibrate at a higher level of consciousness, the body has to evolve in order to be able to hold that vibration. And that can manifest itself in a few ways. You may find that you can no longer smoke cigarettes or drink alcohol. They just make you too sick. You may find there are certain types of food that you can't eat anymore because they are simply too processed and too dense and too false for the lightness of being that your body is trying to attain so that it can maintain that higher vibration. Sometimes it can be so intense that you would do anything just to leave your body for a little while because it feels like you're unraveling. But you're not. You're not unraveling. You are expanding. And now we come to one of the hardest parts, which is isolation. You may feel an intense feeling of isolation and find that you are suddenly losing or letting go of relationships that were very meaningful to you at one time. One of the reasons that friendships and relationships work is because people are operating at the same level and in the same way. Once you begin to change the way that you think, the way that you eat, change the way that you move through the world, it's automatically going to change your relationships. You may find yourself pulling away from people that you used to spend every day with. You may find that they are pulling away from you, and that can be really lonely and hurtful. Conversations that used to fill you up now feel empty and even draining. You may feel lonely even when you're surrounded by people. Maybe you used to love the party, but now you just want to be alone. But it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because your energy is shifting. And awakening often comes with soul pruning. Some relationships have simply finished their sacred work in your life. And as hard as that is, making room allows new connections, deeper, truer connections and allows the people that move out of your life to move into their own evolution, however that might look, because they cannot sustain the way they operate and stay in your sphere of being. It's lonely, and it may be lonely for a while before you begin to attract like-minded people who are vibrating on the same frequency that you are. And there's really no one there to tell you any of this, unless you're lucky enough to have a mentor. You might find yourself losing interest in the things that you once loved. Maybe you don't feel passionate about your work anymore. You begin to yearn for something else, but you don't know what it is. Maybe your old dreams don't light you up the way they used to, and you start to feel hollow. This can make you question everything about who you are, what your purpose is, and what you're supposed to do now. But what's really happening is that your soul is asking for a bigger life, one that is more aligned with who you are becoming. It's not the death of your passion. It is the clearing of space so that something even more beautiful can grow. And perhaps the most confusing part is feeling disconnected from spirit. And this is happening right in the middle of your awakening. Meditation feels dry. Prayer doesn't make you feel that feeling of closeness anymore. Your guides are not speaking to you, and you wonder where they went. You wonder if you took a wrong turn somewhere. And that silence can be deafening. But what's really happening is a deepening. In spiritual circles, this is something called the void, or the dark night of the soul. It's the space between the old and the new. It's not punishment. It's preparation. And to use a metaphor, the soil looks mighty empty for a long time before the first green shoots break through. When it seems like nothing is happening, that's the time that the most is happening. And I know many of you are listening to this and thinking, oh my God, this is my life. And I want you to know, you're not crazy. You're not failing. You are healing. You are becoming lighter. Because awakening isn't just about seeing the light. It's about clearing the dust. It's about making space for a deeper version of yourself to emerge. So if you're tired, rest. If you're grieving, honor it. If you feel lost, trust that you are not lost to your own soul. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And when you begin to find your tribe, one of the most important things that you can do is share this journey with other people. Because this is a journey that most of us take alone, but we do heal better together. Maybe with the things you find out about yourself, you'll be able to help someone else who feels lost and alone and crazy, just like you used to. And yes, just like I used to. So today I want you to know that I am sending you so much love. And wherever you are on your journey, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Until next time, bye. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that I've managed to pique your interest, raise your curiosity, give you something to think about, teach you something that you didn't know before, or send you down a major rabbit hole. If you're curious about what I do, shoot me an email. Go on to my website, gloriadanvers.com, and book a free consultation. Let's discover something about you that you didn't know. I'll be back next week. And until then, stay curious and stay open to all the things that come in for you in a higher dimension.